She saw me and then she jumped. Hi, blessing! The Yoruba in me developed a heart attack. Like, what's going on here?
How do I proceed? How do I go down so fast and come up so fast? What if I cannot come up?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Blessing Damilola and I'm here with my beloved husband, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the culture shock that we have experienced. I am Yoruba and my husband here is Igbo, and we have been married for quite some months now, almost a year. I want to talk about, the differences, the intertribal differences between us and how we have been able to adapt to the differences. If it's something you are interested in, keep watching.
All right. For me, I think the first and most pronounced one would be language, obviously. So the language is quite different, Yoruba, Igbo, but fortunately for us, or is it unfortunately, I'll say.
It's fortunate.
I don't really speak Igbo on a regular basis, right? I speak mostly English, even in my home, right? I'm used to speaking English, though I hear Igbo well. I hear Yoruba too, so it has not actually been an issue. And every time we have communicated in English, so the language.
I speak Yoruba to you sometimes.
Yeah, and I hear, right, and I chip in some things here and there. So it's not like it's a big difference. We just find the
speak Yoruba today. Just something.
Kaleo.
Wow, that's what came to your mind.
I didn't mean well, yeah.
Just tell them you understand Yoruba, but say it to Yoruba.
Boy Yoruba dada.
Yeah.
So yes.
So for me, for language, Yoruba people, we have a very funny way of interpreting even our English conversations in Yoruba. So that has been like the issue. Just sometimes when I just say some things, I literally translate Yoruba to English, and then my husband does not really get it. Okay, let me give an example. In a situation where Yoruba people will say, "Oh, tia bere," like you didn't even ask how this thing went, like a way to start a gist. And then if I say it in English, I say, you didn't even ask me about this thing, and it looks like an attack. Like you didn't even ask, and meanwhile it's just me trying to like start up a gist. So I know this particular one actually happened. I was like, babe, you didn't even ask me about this thing. And he was like, something, maybe I'm sorry. That's not what I mean. I'm just trying to like start up a conversation here. So some little things like that, which is majorly like a Yoruba problem, because there's what we call Yoruba English, but then it's not much of a problem. It's just like communication. Once I'm able to express what I meant, there's really not much of a deal with that. Yeah, for me, my number one culture shock. Well, I will not say number one, but one of the most prominent one for me is their interaction. Yoruba people, we are big on respect, in quotes. What I mean by big on respect is how we address one another, right?
What do you mean that we are not big?
No. Don't misunderstand this. I'm going to explain, right? For me personally, my parents, there's like almost more than 40 years age gap between me and my parents. So they are very, very, in tune with culture and all of that. And I was brought up that way. Like, if there's one thing my dad can kill you for, is disrespect. So I grew up in a house where I call my sister, sister, something. My siblings call me sister. Do you get, like, the way we address one another?
Sister Blessing.
Yeah, sister Dami. The way we address one another, that's like, and some people will argue, some people will, no, that's not the point. I'm getting there. Why will you be calling me sister? That's not the point. No, that one is fellowship sister. Some people will argue and say it's not by calling names and all of that, but I grew up to know that it starts with how you address the person. It's not just, you can't just call me sister and then insult me. No, my dad he can kill you for that. So imagine my shock when I met Uzoma. And then it was at Amara's wedding, and then she saw me and then she jumped. Hi, blessing! The Yoruba in me developed a heart attack. Like, what's going on here? Like, I could not believe it. I saw it coming, right? We used to talk over the phone, video calls here and there, but it was just like the reality hit me really hard. I'm like, how can this teenager just open her mouth and call my name? It took me a while. Like, it took me, constantly reminding myself that, okay, these people's culture is a bit different from our own. Till now, you still call your sister by name, you call your elder brothers by name. But then it's something I had to adjust to. Though it has changed now. Someone does not even call me Blessing now. You want me and Sister Blessing? Sister Blessing. Even Olu calls me Sister Blessing now. But those periods, it was like a tough pill to swallow. Like, what's going on here? So the Yoruba in me, it took a while to adapt to that. But then it's all good. I think it's all fine now. We have managed to find a balance. And then while I'm still talking about respect, I remember greeting. Like I said, my parents are like culturally inclined. So I would normally greet my parents, I would genuflect, bow down. I don't greet them standing up. It's what I was brought up to do. Even if you are 1 year older than me, the respect I'll show you is how I was brought up, right? So when I met your dad for the first time, I was genuinely confused because I understand that, okay, you don't kneel in their tradition. So I was like torn between kneeling and standing, and I was just confused. I think I ended up not kneeling. And later when I was now gisting a friend, she was like, that it doesn't matter. I can just, hold on to my own, tradition and still, if I feel like that is a way of showing respect, I should keep doing it. It doesn't matter if it's not their tradition or not. That is the way I was brought up, and there's really no biggie. And then you want to tell them about when you came to my house. When you came to my house, and then my dad challenged you.
For me, it was like, this is the first time ever. Right? I I knew in my mind I was going to, I think, prostrate. In my mind, I was going to prostrate and all of that because I knew that was what was acceptable there, and that was how to show respect. But in the heat of the moment, to now prostrate, it was now like an uphill battle. I was like battling with my mind. How do I prostrate? How do I go down so fast and come up so fast? What if I cannot come up? Like, what if I not? Like, what if I hit the floor? Like, different rubbish things just came. So, and I don't even know. Did I even prostrate at the
You did not.
I
First time.
I
I think it was like till the third time before my dad said something. The Yoruba in him could not hold it anymore.
But I learned. Then I started prostrating. As I say, prostrate.
And then it's not necessarily prostrate. It's just to like bow and just show a form of respect, And my dad just said it jokingly. It's not like he attacked you. So yeah, that's that on the respect issue.
Yeah, so the next one would be food.
I knew it.
So there's a
lot of food.
A whole difference, right? The Igbo soups are different. The Igbo stew is different. Short, every way of cooking food is different, and it's not even around. Before I even go into the whole cultural stuff, even the way people cook food is normally different, right? Not talk of like there is this soup here that I'm already used to in my home. Then there is another soup I'm not used to, or there is a kind of food that they eat I don't eat, or I'm eating the kind of food that she's like, oh, what is this? Why people eating this type of thing? The combination is wrong.
Guys, is it right? It's bread.
Okay.
Let me ask now.
It's okay, don't ask.
Okay.
So for food, right? The way we've adjusted really is, what works for you. You can cook and let us try it. If it's for instance, if there's a soup that she wants us to cook, for instance, Ofaku, for instance, you can make it and then we eat it together. If it's nice, that will continue. Then if there's something from her place that she wants to cook, she'll cook, and
you try.
Yes. So like that, we've been trying to mix the tribes together.
I didn't know before that Yoruba people and Igbos, there are some soups that we have in common. Egusi, for example, okra, ogbono. It will surprise you that the method of cooking, the taste, they are just very different, right? So that is where compromise comes in. You are coming from a different place, getting married to someone with a different culture. So you don't have your mindset that this is the way we do things and this is the way we're going to be doing it. One of the things we had issues with at the beginning stage was pepper, right? I can eat a lot of pepper, and my husband here,
I cannot eat a
he
lot
cannot
of
eat
pepper.
a lot of pepper. So it took like a bit of adjusting. This time I'm like, babe, how is the pepper? It's like, maybe I cannot eat this food. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Next time I try to reduce it till we're able to reach a compromise.
And crayfish.
And crayfish.
Hey!
Yeah.
Crayfish was even more than pepper for me because I was not used to crayfish, a lot of crayfish, especially.
I was not used to crayfish before too.
Well, you like crayfish.
I don't like crayfish.
That you even like, you prefer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Me, and it's a personal preference. Actually, it's a personal preference. So yeah, something like crayfish, onions. Oh my god, my husband can eat raw onions, and I don't mind onions, but my husband's one is just too much. Babe,
the onion gang, please tell me in the comments.
I love onions. I don't have a problem with onions, right? But I feel like too much of everything is just.
Why is so much of everything? Just onions.
Babe, there's leftover rice. So can you just warm it? My husband will now cut onion big
so that to taste fresh, because onions will give that aroma, that freshness to an already stale food.
For me, I don't mind when onions is like well cooked in the food, maybe well fried. But when it's like borderline raw,
so that it can help your eye, vitamin A.
Babe, don't go there.
It will enter your eye to make your eyes shine and very light.
I had to tell him at different points, like, babe, this is too much. You have used onions to spoil this food for me. And then he started to adjust, reduce.
Oh, right now, is it even me that adjusted with you that
we both adjusted. Okay. We both adjusted, right? You don't eat it as much now. You can almost eat raw onions. When food is almost done, I mean, done, Seth, my husband will now cut onions and cover
on top,
it.
so that it would.
Why are we eating raw onions? Why?
But we eat raw onions in suya.
I don't eat it. I don't eat raw onions. I can't stand the taste. My mouth will not be smell like Hausa people smell. Anyways, there are little things like that, right? Palm oil, Yoruba people use more of oil. I don't think that was ever an issue with us, right? But that pepper was really a big deal. Onions was a big deal. And crayfish, like he said, I had to adapt. We had to start blending crayfish, and compromise is really, really important if you are going to adapt. If not, you can't keep insisting that I always eat raw. Imagine if he stands on his I always eat onions, and I'm like, babe, no, I can't stand onions. It could have easily become an issue. That's why you see people and they'll say toothpaste costs their marriage. Cause separation. I'm like, something as little as that, you should be ready to make compromise. It's not going to harm you. It's not going to, it's not like if I don't eat pepper, I'm going to die. And the funny thing now is, my husband now eats a lot of pepper. Tell them. When Uzoma came, Uzoma could not stand the pepper, and that's how you used to be. You didn't realize. That's I actually intentionally just introduced him to pepper. Today I'll just add little, increase it till it.
That's how I introduced that to onions. Today I'll add like that as well.
See, one thing I've come to realize is that there are some things that we just feel this is how things are done. Until you open your mind and see from the other person's perspective, you might keep holding on to the fact that this is how it must be done.
And sometimes, right, just to chip in, sometimes it is because our taste buds have been conditioned a particular way, and you're already used to that taste, and you feel like that's the best in the whole world. Even when you taste something else, at first, right? So my sister told me that if you taste something first and you don't like it, try it 3 more times. If you don't still like it, then you don't like it.
Not like that.
Right? So I like giving things a try. So because your taste buds are really, that's how you have grown. Not like that's the best food in the world, but you're already used to it and you're already acclimatized to that kind of food. So try as much as possible in love. Introduce, like she said, introduce different things and be accommodating to everyone's own taste as well.
So those are the major things that we had to acclimatize to and get used to. And okay, another thing is Igbo people, it is generally known that they travel to the village at the end of the year. It's like a family tradition, and I could not wrap my head around it. Like, we don't want a village.
That's the thing. I could never wrap my head around the fact that you don't have village. When I even said village to her, she was like one remote place with thatched with mud house and thatched.
But if you have mothers in your village, you don't even go there.
Where?
Your village is still village now.
And that's the thing, it's village, but it's not like it's better than playing many houses in Ibadan now. So, so like village we mean like hometown, right?
But this is my hometown.
But this is not your father's house.
My father's house is where he built his house.
No, as in your hometown now, like where where your family.
I don't think it's our own tradition to travel there and all of that. And I feel like when people with different backgrounds get married, it's important not to be too rigid with this is how we do things, this is how we do things. You should understand that you people are coming together to form a new unit. So you can now agree on our own family culture. Okay, this is what is going to be our family tradition. Another thing that shocked me, I think this one is just like family differences. We used to go for crossover nights like every last day of the year, and for them, people just have like crossover prayers in the house. So imagine if I'm not insisting that every night, every last day of the year, we have to go to church. That's what I'm used to. And he insists, oh no, there must be family prayers. So you must understand that people are coming together to form a new unit. So you should not allow baggages, for lack of a better word, to hold you people back and start causing problems. This is the tradition I'm used to. This is okay, let's come together and form our own tradition. Okay, we can try this out. If it doesn't work, we can try something else. We are a new family entirely. And then I also feel like as believers, right, a lot of things there are things we should not hold on to too tightly, because the word of God is like our guide. The word of God is like our compass. For people that are into tradition, we used to do village dance, so there are some traditions that should be subjected to the word of God. I'm glad. See, if there's one thing I'm grateful to God for, is the family my husband come from. Like, they are Christians to the core. Because one of my fears getting married to Igbo people, you must have heard a lot of things. They hit humans, they do this. Yeah, just generally don't want to know. Like, they have tradition where maybe when the husband dies, the wife has to be subjected to different things.
Nollywood that's projecting all
this stuff. But we don't know it, and it's actually some people's reality.
No, it's now.
But then, babe, it's some people's reality, right? It's some tradition. In some people's tradition, they'll wash the body and say the wife should drink the water. I've read it before, and I've read true life stories.
No, that's like 1% in like a
whole ocean. So imagine if someone is now getting married to that 1%. You should know that any tradition that if you subject side by side by the word of God, is the word of God that should stand. Not that the husband will now be insisting that this is how we do it in my tradition, this is how it must be, or the wife will insist this is how we do it, this is how it must be. And then it's just, I heard a story of someone that their tradition is that if the wife dies, they have to take her back to her father's village to bury her there. And there are some very, very stupid things that let me not say stupid, let's not be that ridiculing culture. But then as believers, I'm talking to believers, we are in a kingdom, and our kingdom, we have our own culture, and the word of God is like our guide that contains our culture. So the word of God should be like I feel like I'm deviating from the whole purpose of this video, but I just feel like I needed to just point that out. These things can cause problems in families. We are quick to just overlook a lot of things because we are believers, and our minds, our hearts have been subjected to the word of God. So I just wanted to say that before I start talking plenty. Do you have any other thing to say?
I just wanted to say that don't be afraid to get married to another culture, right? These things are peripheral if you look at it in the big picture, because you are both Christians. In Christianity, there's no Jew, there's no Greek. Both of you, like we said, we've shared our experiences. Both of you can come together and meet at a common ground. You don't have to neglect all the things you have known in your life, and you don't have to take in everything as well. Just find a common ground, find the positives, take them, and you can move forward in life, right? So don't be afraid. Take that step and ask the lady out.
All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel if you have not. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. And yes, guys, I have an announcement. I don't know if it would have gone up before or after, but anyways, you guys should look forward to that announcement. See you in the next one.
Till we meet again.
Thank you so much for coming, guys. The efforts that bringing this guy, bringing this man onto this channel, it takes a lot of effort. But thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see you very, very soon. All right, guys. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.